Welcome back. More bad news, I'm afraid, for homeowners this morning. Reserve Bank Governor Michelle Bullock warning interest rates will remain high as the RBA tries to curb inflation. Joining us to discuss today's headlines is ALP National President Wayne Swan and Independent MP Dai Le. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Wayne, as a former Treasurer, where are we going wrong here?
Well, I think the Reserve Bank is putting economic dogma over rational economic decision-making, hammering households, hammering mums and dads with higher rates, causing a collapse in spending and driving the economy backwards, doesn't necessarily deal with the principal pushes when it comes to higher inflation. I'm very, very disappointed in what the Reserve Bank is doing at the moment, and if you look at markets, they're all forecasting rate drops. They're going down around the world. The drivers of inflation in this country are not going to be affected and not going to come down by hammering mums and dads with higher rates.
But that's the only weapon that the RBA has in its arsenal, really. It's the government that has more things that it can do in order to bring down inflation.
Well, the government is doing a lot to bring down inflation, but the Reserve Bank is simply punching itself in the face. It's counterproductive. And it's not good economic policy, and I'm incredibly disappointed with what they're doing.
OK, Dai, it's one thing for the RBA governor to tell people you've got to sell your home.
Yeah.
It's quite another for the families who are affected by this, and many of those will be in your community.
Oh, look, can I say that it is a huge issue in terms of in my community in Fowler, low income, and I got stopped by a resident just a couple of days ago who was literally crying. She said, look, I've had, so many interest rates rises, and it's impacting, obviously paying, and I can't save, and petrol's gone up, groceries gone up, energy prices have gone up. So there are definitely, interest rate is really killing a lot of people. But then going to the RBA's point, which is that's the one blunt instrument, and what can the government, and of course the government has many more other avenues to ensure that inflation doesn't constantly go up. And is that because of government spending, a lot of spending, that's causing this? So that is something that the government has to actually look at. Honestly, Wayne.
Well, it's not government spending that's causing this.
Well,
but the government
is spending a lot.
The economy. Well, they are spending a lot.
A lot of
but
money.
They are also in surplus for 2 years in a row, something not achieved in this country for decades and decades. There are inflationary pressures in the economy, and they are not being caused by government spending.
Wayne, are you saying that Jim Chalmers is doing everything right here?
I am saying he's doing everything
There's
right.
There's nothing more
and of course,
he could
the
be doing.
people living in Dai's electorate would be the subject of the harsh expenditure cuts that this economic dogma is calling for. There's always been a group of people in this country who hanker for a recession hanker for cuts to public spending, which hurt people in Dai's electorate.
Well, can I say that in my community, small business, mum and dads are suffering from the increase in energy prices, energy bills, petrol prices. Now, the government has refused to actually cut the fuel levy. The energy prices, they have not done anything to actually alleviate. $300. The $300 is not enough, Wayne, as you know. That is a one-off,
So you're calling for more government spending to solve the problem?
Well, no. I'm looking at how can the government do something that is actually systematically and change things systematically. It's not about spending. That's
the government is doing
spending.
Those things. The government is doing those things across the board.
All right, I do want to get to another issue because Bill Shorten is making headlines this morning for calling time on his 17-year political career, announcing he'll take up a new role as the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Canberra from February. Wayne, even Peter Dutton and Tony Abbott have had nice things to say about him since this announcement. You spent many years in government together. Have you got any advice for life after politics?
Well, the first thing to say is that Bill can be very proud of what he has done in his public life. And of course, the NDIS is but one of his achievements. In terms of the Labor Party itself, he brought us back from the brink after a savage defeat in 2013, almost became Prime Minister in 2016. But he's been committed, he's been determined, and he's always had the interests of working people at heart. So he's entitled to be really proud of what he's achieved. My advice for him is have a good time.
That's good advice for anyone, really, isn't it? Finally, I do want to ask you both about this curious item. A Sydney cafe has come under fire for charging customers who ask for no ice in their drink an extra $1.
Well,
Dai.
I think that business can charge whatever, and of course think about the costs have gone up for businesses in terms of their supply chain, food, energy prices, everything. So really, and nowadays social media, people can just, you know, load anything up. So we have to take a moment and take stock and think about the small businesses that are running these cafes. There are many mums and dads, especially in my electorate. So, you know, it's...
So you're on the cafe side?
Well, you know, I'm on the small business side.
Okay.
You know, so yeah.
Wayne, does it pass the pub test? I mean, if there's no ice, I
No.
guess you need more juice to fill the cup. Is that worth a buck?
It's too complicated, too smart by half, and not worth the damage that it's done to their reputation.
Okay. Wayne Swan and Dai Le, thank you for your time. Carl.
Gee, Swanee wasn't mincing his words today, giving it to the RBA. Well, in the next half hour, police right now hunting a group of men linked to a number of break-ins right across Brisbane. Plus, Bill Shorten is live on Today.